Rest in peace to the trifecta of wrestling reviews on Wednesday nights. And also rest in peace to the 2 episodes of NXT UK. Okay, yeah, it's not really the biggest deal in the world, but you know. Guys, what's going on? This is the Club with the Man 1993, and that is right. We are no longer doing a trifecta here on Wednesday nights. We're back to just 2 shows. 2 shows being 1 NXT UK and 1 NXT. Not 2 NXT UKs, 205 Live, and NXT for 4 shows for me to watch on Wednesday nights. We're back down to just 2. Just 1 episode of NXT UK, which makes sense because they're all caught up now. So what's the point of having 2 shows a week now? And 205 Live moved back to Tuesday nights, even though it's in a bad time slot. I gotta agree with that. But so now, till further notice, we have this 1 NXT UK show to talk about, and this 1 show of NXT to talk about, of course. So just 2 just 2 reviews tonight. That's it. So guys, what's going on? This is the Call of the Man 93 coming at you for my live review of this week's episode of NXT UK. That was the January 16th, 2019 episode. It took place in the same location as NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool did. My cough is still here, guys. I swear it gets worse at nights. Took place at the Empress Ballroom in Blackpool, England. Overall, this show kind of felt like, it was solid. It felt like, though, just like a recap show. Kind of like how, not completely a complete recap show, how you would see it after an NXT takeover. But in some sense, it felt like the matches were good. They had like a story behind them at some point, but they were a little on the low end. The main event I thought was fantastic. And even like the women's match we had, I thought was pretty good also. The other match was meh. It was what it was, I felt. But so a solid episode. Not the most, star-studded episode for sure, but definitely gave some people who did not wrestle at NXT UK TakeOver some time also. So again, somewhat of a dark match show, but not completely a dark match show, I feel. So without further ado, let's of course talk about this episode. We opened up with a match with Ligero taking on Saxon Huxley, who is the story going here is that Saxon Huxley is just having a hard time, getting going here in NXT UK, even though he's supposed to be a heel. But he's having he's tried tagging with Joseph Connors. It didn't work out. Joseph Connors turned on him, and his past other tag team partners haven't really worked out for him either. So he decides to go ahead alone today against Ligero, who I thought was having a feud with Joseph Connors. This whole shiny new toy storyline, whatnot, if you know what I mean. So so instead we have Huxley. Match is average. He didn't really get into too much. And though Ligero picked up the win easily by hitting a modified stunner on one side of the ring before laying a tornado DDT to get the victory pretty much. So it wasn't really that long of a match. Didn't really do much really happen at all, really. In general, gotta say this match. So it just was what it was, giving Ligero another win and just continuing to show that things are not working out so far for Saxon Huxley in NXT UK. We did have also a recap, just like a recap, like at one point of just everything that happened at NXT UK again from Gibson and Drake winning the the Grizzled Young Veterans. Apparently that's what their tag team names is going to be. They won the inaugural tag titles for NXT UK. They had they showed highlights of course for the Devlin and Balor match when it was supposed to be Travis Banks and Devlin at first. The no DQ match, the women's title match, and the main event, the UK championship match, and the debut of Walter, which again I'm still learning to see what they do with him for sure. As a lot of people are saying that he's probably going to be the one to dethrone Pete Dunne. We'll soon wait and see. Of course, also there was a segment in here also with Travis Banks firing back at Jordan Devlin after what he did to him at TakeOver UK, setting up for a match between the 2 of them on next week's edition of NXT UK. And of course, next week means next week legitimately because again we got just 1 episode of NXT UK. Back to that again. The second match we had actually I thought was pretty good. It was Isla Dawn taking on Jinny. This of course came about. A couple weeks ago, when after Isla Dawn, failed to win the NXT UK Women's Championship, and then she had a match with Xia Brookside. She won after the match. Jinny attacked her, took advantage of her vulnerability, and just pretty much said, this is the difference between a witch and a queen. And this is kind of like, just both the superstars trying to, just get a little bit, of some momentum going into division again. Again, Isla Dawn and Toni Storm are the only ones that have got an actual, and Deonna Purrazzo have been the only ones who have gotten an opportunity for the UK Women's Championship so far. So not a bad match. Isla Dawn started off with sort of a series of power moves and submissions. Jinny went close to getting the victory a couple occasions. Close to one where she hit a flatliner to the corner and locked in 2 submissions. But then she eventually caught Isla Dawn on the middle rope and hit the X Factor to get the win, pretty much. So, obviously, Jinny with Toni Storm, being, the champion, Jinny being a heel. I mean, of course, I'm not sure if automatic rematch clauses are not the case in NXT also anymore. Who knows? But NXT UK, but I'm thinking, they probably could at least build up Jinny to be, contend for the NXT UK Women's Championship next after the feud with Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley ends, which would be too bad. Again, I think Jinny has put on, good performances in the Mae Young Classic, and she's put on some breakup matches with Toni Storm and even Isla Dawn as well, and even Candy Floss. Even though I still don't know if this Candy Floss person is serious or if they're just, giving her just the time to just eat the pins and whatnot. Who knows? But because the last time I saw her in a match, she had one against Jinny recently, and I thought she put on a solid showing. But this match was solid also to put over Jinny and give Isla Dawn a good rub also as well. So that was that match. And then finally our main event, it was our third match of the night. It was a tag team match with Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster taking on one of my new favorite tag teams, the European Union, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel. Of course, this goes back to their recent issues whenever, Fabian Eichner made his NXT UK debut and immediately tried to make a name for himself against Mark Andrews, and Flash Morgan Webster tried to fire back. But then, of course, Eichner felt he was being double teamed, so he grabbed Marcel Barthel, and they became a tag team. Of course, Andrews and Webster got to the semifinals for the UK tag titles. So this is kind of a match, them settling their dispute in the ring pretty much. And I thought this was a pretty fun match. I enjoyed it. Again, showing, I already know, Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews have a lot of potential for sure. They're great underdog characters. But of course, it's also giving me hope, even more hope for the European Union again, where they get big, because they're being shown on both NXT and NXT UK. So whichever brand they get a push on, I'm pretty sure there's some big plans. And both these guys are very talented. I mean, especially Fabian Eichner, who I still see a lot of singles potential in. Marcel Barthel is still growing up. I think with working with Eichner, I think he's definitely starting to show something, some hope as well, for sure. But the match was more like a back and forth that got the crowd on its feet, getting a lot of great actions. Marcel Barthel came milliseconds away from winning after a brainbuster on Andrews, and then Eichner took out Andrews at the ringside towards the end when they double teamed Flash Morgan Webster in the corner with a powerbomb uppercut combo, and then eventually getting Eichner to pin for the win. A lot of close near falls also in the match. So definitely a very exciting tag match. Now, of course, that we have, all champions now. We have more of a set direction of where we're going now, I got to say. So these matches are definitely benefiting by having a lot more things concrete right now on NXT UK. So, yeah, obviously, both teams are trying to make their case for them to be eventually feuding with the young grizzled veterans, whatever we call them, for the UK tag titles. But solid match. I gotta give to the credit. I thought it was a really fun match for sure for main event, and that's basically it for the show. What is we got Robbie in the live chat saying, "Hey Mike, when we do part 2 of our end of the year awards, are you ready to do something some lucha things, some yes, I'm ready to do some lucha things for sure." And absolutely, and just get things started. The Lucha House Party also goes. They suck right now because I can't stand it. But yeah, definitely Robbie for sure. I can't wait to do part 2. Not sure what's going to happen, but hopefully soon. Because I still have a lot of good things to talk about on my list for sure. But But yeah, guys, that's it for my NXT UK live review. Give it a B- again. Kind of like a Fallout show with not as hardcore of a recap, but decent Fallout show. So decent matches. Also, I gotta say, so I'll give it a B-. What grade do you guys give NXT UK this week? Your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to click my like and subscribe while we're content on my channel. You may follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirBonnie3. I'll be back up here in just a minute to do my NXT live review next. So until then, guys, I'll see you all then. Take care, everybody, and peace out, everybody.